1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 'Hey guys, welcome out to the range. Today I wanted to do a brief video for you because I'm out here for 5 hours working my tail off and nothing. I get the cameras out and this gets started. That's alright, because it's been kind of dry lately. This is a drill. Actually, you know what? Come here. You guys have kind of sort of seen this before. This is a drill that I did. This is a variation of a drill that I did with one of my students, Philip, where we were basically rotating around some wooden barriers.
Very good. You caught yourself.
And since that time, I've invested heavily in target bases that allow me to pick targets up and move them very quickly. These particular targets from Challenge Targets give me the ability to essentially stack the shot. As you can see, it creates a honeycomb structure. What you're looking at is individual targets, and it creates kind of a honeycomb structure, and it allows me to, instead of having targets in a linear fashion side by side, it allows me to stack targets in such a fashion that if the student is not paying attention to their shot, they're going to end up zipping around into the wrong person. That's why each one of these has a number on it. And obviously, because I'm out here by myself, well, I get to basically just run it in a linear fashion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And even still, you noticed how much movement I had to do just to complete the drill. So, and as you can tell, the numbers aren't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It kind of keeps you moving. The other thing is, because these target plates are so lightweight, well, actually I should just tell you about the targets. The target plates are very lightweight, and to such a degree that you can hold them at arm's length. There's not much to this. It's quarter inch steel. This is a 1/4 inch steel, and it is laser cut, so the edges are very clean. I like the humanoid targets, as you guys know, because the ears are what lend a great deal of reality to these targets. And I've got this camera set up right there because I wanted you guys to see that the targets are canted dramatically to the rear. And the reason for that is it allows me to get right up onto a target and do that without worrying about the bullet hitting me. Now, right now, someone just totally lost it because I just hopped right up onto the target and popped up a bunch of... You hear the rounds? Here, that's the round falling. The round goes harmlessly 20 feet, 20 yards in that direction. Oh, I'm sorry, 25 feet or so in that direction. And then it goes up about 40 or 50 feet in the air and it drops because, folks, it's made of metal. It's made of brass, copper, and lead. So those rounds are going to fall out of the sky very quickly. And what this ensures, the reason I've done this, guys, this absolutely ensures that you guys are not catching bullets, Paul. I caught one in the finger, and it did not cut me. I think 1 or 2 hit me in the leg. Yeah, there's one there. They tend to stick to your pants for a moment because they're still hot. But for the most part, you guys saw the rounds kind of doing this. And look, I know that people just constantly lose it when I do that. I'm not shooting frangible. This is Swiss-made Perfecta, I believe it's called. And it's essentially 115 grain mil-spec ball. There's nothing special about it. I don't shoot frangible anymore. I have trained, I'm going to say at this point, several 100,000 rounds on steel. I have trained for so many years on steel that I absolutely know that I am not going to get hurt. All right, I got a boogie because it's going to be coming down here pretty soon. Okay, one of the main reasons that I did this is I was having students catching bullets ball every once in a while because my targets used to stand straight up and down. And while the plates are capable of taking the abuse straight on from the round, I needed to make sure that the student was not going to get hit and hurt. The reason that I have them set up tilted to the rear so far is I want to make sure that that round goes up and away. The way these bases are meant to be used is the target is actually supposed to be on the other side. It's supposed to be canted forward where the bullet strikes and deflects down. Why does every manufacturer in the industry make their target plates to cant forward? Because everybody in the industry makes their targets to cant forward. Guys, it's the only thing I can think. Well, the logical answer is because they want to have a predictable path to the round. They want to know where that round is going to end up. Well, I know where the round is going to end up. It's going to go up about 40 or 50 feet, 25 yards downrange, and it's going to fall out of the sky. Okay? But to some people, that is an unpredictable path. To me, that 100%, well, not 100%, nothing is sure, that 97% ensures that you guys are not going to get hit when you come to train. When you're doing handgun classes, when you're doing PDW classes with me, this is what we train on. We train on steel. We train very, very close on steel because within 300 milliseconds of experiencing that ding, your brain creates a new neural pathway and labels it success. This right here, 100%, well, I keep saying 100%, darn near 100% ensures you're not going to get hit. The other reason why it is so short, because that's one of the questions someone's going to ask, I needed to have the head be within the confines, the parameters of the feet, so that when you hit it, you saw when I shot it multiple times, it didn't fall. This target tends to want to recover. So when you're doing some of the drills where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and you take off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and you take off and you come back, the target can absorb 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then recover forward while you take off again. I also wanted the ability to have these fit inside of my vehicle, and also to kind of give you guys a pointer that, what are these, 44 inches or something, the 2x4s, they're short, they're very, very short. And I wanted these to be able to fit in the trunk of a car, in the seat well of a van. And someone's gonna say, yeah, but we're shooting a 10-year-old kid. No, you're not. You're shooting a dude who's working an angle on you. You're shooting a guy who's taking a knee and working an angle on you. That's what this is about. No one, okay, I can't say no one. There are people who train to shoot like this, right? You know, the people who do this kind of thing. Okay? There are people who train to shoot standing straight up and down. Your fighting stance should be very low. You should try to make yourself as small as possible when the bullets start flying. So I'm cool with these being that short. Not to mention, once I get about here, which is 3 yards or so, the difference between here and here is negligible. So a short target is wholly irrelevant. But even if I'm here, I still have enough of a cant of the target to the rear that round is going up and away and harmlessly up and away. Like I said earlier, these are targets. I actually have 12 of these, but I have 8 of them set up for this drill. Like I said, and actually the thing that I said earlier, the reason that this is set up so close is I'm intentionally trying to confuse you, which is why the numbers. I may call out, like for example, we have 2 and 4 right here. So I may say 2 plus 4, and the sum of 2 plus 4 is 6. So now you have to find target 6, which is not here because this is number 7. So now you have to find target number 6. And how many times do you think you're going to shoot it? 6 times. Very good. So I say 2 + 4. And you're like, 6. 6 isn't there. And then you have to run around the barrels and go, oh, there's 6. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I go 3 + 2. And you're like, 3 + 2 is 5. 5 isn't there. No, wait, 5 is there. And guys, trust me. Guys, I've done this multiple times in day training and in night training. And it's actually hilarious in night training. How just goofed up you get when you're exhausted, when you're cold, because most night classes are held in the fall when the sun comes down, when the sun goes down faster. So you get started at 1 p.m., you take a break at 5, and you pick back up again at 7 to 9, 9:30. So somewhere around 7:45, where you're like at dusk, and now lights are having to be turned on. Dudes just start, you know, you're dehydrated, you're already sunburned because you've been out there all day long, and the instructor says, 6 times 8, 6 isn't here, but basically they go 6 times 8. Well, 6 times 8 is 48. Now, you're not going to hit the target 48 times. And the other question is, well, there is no 48 out here, but there is a 4 and there is an 8. So you end up hitting that 4 times and you hit that 8 times. Now, if you hit this 4 times and you hit this 8 times, you should be, well, actually, it depends on what you're, honestly, it depends on what you're shooting, because if you're shooting a 1911, you're pretty much screwed, but Glock 19, Glock 17, you're pretty much good because that's 12. So you should have enough rounds. But what they're really trying to do is they're trying to force you to practice tack reloading so that you're not losing track of your round count. They're going to tell you we're running a hot line and you guys are in charge of making sure that you're always running with a topped off weapon, and it creates an environment where it takes the best way I can put it is this: it takes the safeties off of your life. In 2011, I went out to my first, how can I put it? My first over the edge class. It was held at Blackwater, and I think back then they were called Academy. It was with Larry Vickers, and in that class I almost got killed. The kid that I was with had just entered law enforcement, and I just left law enforcement, and he was so jocked up and hopped up, and he was like, woo, yeah, I'm ready to get them. And we entered the room, and he basically, I cleared right, and I brought actually I had a Mark 18, and I brought my weapon up, and just as I'm swinging in and I see my target across the room, I catch his muzzle coming at me. And I realize he's coming at me. And I collapse and I back up, and he shoots right where I was standing. And it got rapidly ugly. And what that made me realize was that the safeties had just been lifted in my life. And from that point forward, I have not lost focus in a class. I remind myself, I'm hot, I'm dehydrated, I'm thirsty, so I need to slow down. And I remind myself of that moment in time where I almost caught it. That's what training like this does for you. And I'm trying to recreate kind of the compressed shoot house effect. I don't have a shoot house to work with. And I'm trying to create the stress of the shoot house effect and kind of an edge of the Rogers range, which is why this drill works really well, because it requires a fair amount of movement. And if I really wanted to get froggy with it, I would come out here and I would make 4 or 5 different recordings of me basically calling out numbers and leaving enough of a gap in time between calling out the number to my phone, and then leaving enough time for me to get the shot and then move on. And then what I've actually been known to do is plug it in. There's a jack back here, so I think it's right there. Plug a jack into the back of these earphones, plug it into my phone, pick randomly one of those 5, 6, or 7 recordings that I've made. That way I can't possibly memorize them. Press play, and I start. And like you see here in this video, I did something similar, but everything was in front of me. And guys, there are so many things you can do for yourself if you have some land to work with, obviously. Invest in steel. I've invested heavily in challenge targets, steel bases, steel targets, because I know that steel is, I know that steel is how you learn rapidly as possible. Steal is how you learn. So I've put the money into infrastructure, and I've done this for you guys so that when you come out to training, you're getting the most bang for your buck. Like I've said, handgun classes and PDW classes, this is the standard for me. Which is why it's very difficult for me to travel, because there is a crap ton of steel that I have to carry around, and you can't travel with this stuff easily. Although I've been practicing packing everything into my van, and it actually packs really, really well. So I may have to think about that. If anybody wants me to come to them, let's talk. Shoot me an email. Yeah, let's talk, because I think this setup may work better than what I was doing before. Because this stuff tends to stack up really well on itself. So anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I got to go pick up my daughter, and it's going to rain on me soon. As always, I thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Better get those guns out and practice. Have a good one.